Himachal Pradesh is one of the beautiful Himalayan states of northern India. Shimla, where we are now, used to be the summer capital of the British colonial empire in India.
Himachal Pradesh was known as a Deva Bhumi, or the land where deities reside. In the hills of Himachal, many early temples are preserved till today. These remote and verdant surroundings are away from the hustle and bustle of the plains. They provide a haven for ancient traditions to continue. The temple is where the deities become visible to the worshipper, where the devotee can have their darshan and be blessed. The deity revealed in the sanctum is believed also to be manifest in the entire fabric of the temple. Thus, every stone or piece of wood here is considered sacred.
In the early medieval period, while the Shiva temple at Kalagumalai near Kanyakumari was being carved out of the mountain, and later the great Kailashnath temple at Ellora was being hewn out of the living rock. Here at Masroor in Himachal Pradesh, a wonderful temple with 5 towers was being carved out of the rock. The amazing thing is that traditions of philosophy and styles of art were completely widespread throughout the Indian subcontinent in the ancient and medieval period. Tucked away in the bosom of verdant Himachal Pradesh, on the banks of the Chandrabhaga river, is a small little town of Udaipur. It is about 52 kilometers from Keelong in the Lahaul region. Hardly anyone comes here, but it has one of the finest early temples of Himachal Pradesh with beautiful wooden sculpture inside it.
The temple of Mrikula Devi has not been accurately dated. It could be of any time between the 8th and the 11th centuries. Though the exterior is not impressive, the wooden interior of the temple is richly carved. The earliest carvings here are on the entrance to the shrine, the ceiling panels and the pillars supporting the ceiling. Carvings of the later period include those on both sides of the window. 2 large Dwarapalas are also of the later period. Chamba lies immediately south of the present state of Jammu and Kashmir. The early temples here are in the secluded valley of the river Ravi, naturally protected by high mountains. No medieval trade route, nor even a modern highway passes through this valley. It has enjoyed long periods of peace and stability. Many temples here are more than 1,000 years old. These have brass images which have been worshipped continuously since they were consecrated. The wooden temple of Lakshana Devi at Bharmor is of the 7th century. It is made out of the local, long-lasting deodhar wood. While temples in the northern plains of India were being made of brick, the hill artists continued to work with wood which was abundantly available here. The temple is richly carved and it recalls the art of the Gupta tradition in the northern plains. However, there is a lilting grace and joyousness of the hills which pervades this work. The wood is lovingly carved to convey the softness and ever-changing curves of living forms.
Thank you, thank you. The Shiv Shakti temple belongs to the 7th century, about the same period as the early temple at Bharmor, the Lakshana Devi temple. It would seem that the joyousness of the hills permeated the artist, and he was forever making these graceful examples of art. Art that you can look upon and be carried away. The lantern ceiling of the temple is a magnificent work of art. Here, flying Gandharvas convey the joy of existence. Numerous deities are finely executed on both sides of the entrance to the sanctum. Both the majesty of the spirit and its ineffable gentleness are conveyed in these fine carvings. Indeed, these serve so well the purpose of raising us far above the mundane concerns of our everyday life. The shrine has a beautiful brass image of Durga, or Shakti Devi as she is called in the hills. The style of art is similar to that of Kashmir and other hill states.
The 9th century Baijnath temple is located between Kangra and Palampur. It is dedicated to Shiva as the Lord of Physicians. The town takes its name after the temple. The temple was built in the beginning of the 13th century and renovated in the 19th century. According to a legend, Ravana worshipped Lord Shiva at this temple. Owing to this, the people of Baijnath do not celebrate the festival of Dasera, which marks the killing of Ravana by Lord Rama. Ancient traditions are continued in the hills of Himachal. Here, at the Baijnath temple, people whisper requests in the ear of Nandi, the bull on whose Shiva rides. It is believed that he will pass on the message to the Lord.